Hello. It's time. Has everyone been waiting? I don't see anyone yet, but I know you're coming. I'm doing a couple little behind the scenes things. There we go. Now I see people. I'm gonna give some time to let people come, get some time to let people find the group. Really hoping I can see messages. Can someone write something so I can try? I see the watching notifications, but so far I'm not seeing any hellos, which is worrying me. Oh, thank you, Mara Firestone, for saying hello. I freak out now every time I start a video that I can't see what people are saying. And on a live video like this with adults, like, I really want to see what you guys are saying. So let me just do a little, mark this as an announcement and pin it to the top so everyone can find it. How's everybody's Saturday night? Does everyone have their drinks? Did everyone go and get Jackrabbit tonight? I hope you did. If you're local, one last thing to do, and then you get my undivided attention. Okay, there we go. So I hope you got your Jackrabbit. Tonight I did. I am drinking the Peach Pale Ale, which is amazing. I picked this up at 2:30. When I finish this one, I have one more. So most of the time on the sip and draws, I actually only drink with you guys. I don't drink before, but I was feeling a little randy today, I guess. So I went ahead and started drinking early. So hopefully this all still goes well. But yes, I am glad you all are here and you're excited for the sip and draws. This is always really fun because I'll be honest, we typically get a bigger attendance for these than we do for the kids. And I know a lot for the kids, you guys go back and you watch it. But man, these adult sip and draws, everybody comes out with a vengeance, and I really dig it. So, oh, good, you got the peach too. Other people got the peach, so that's awesome because this is delicious. And last time we had a word. It was decided during the drawing that we had a word, and everybody took a sip when that word was said, and it was curve because, I say curve about 9,500 times in every drawing video. But I think tonight it should be rabbit. So every time I say rabbit, everyone should give a cheers. My necklace is a peanut, and you want to see something cool? It's my, just in case somebody's trying to mess with me. Anyway. Yeah. So we are doing tonight a Jackrabbit drawing. So we have our Jackrabbit saddled up here with a beer. You can add to it. Like we always say, I give you the basics and then you can run with it. Maybe you put them at a bar. I probably will add, in fact, I know I'm going to add a couple things myself. I'm going to put mine in a shirt. But that's what we're doing tonight. Jackrabbit, drinking a beer. Perfect to segue into Easter week. Yes, I think most people have been let in. So your friends should be here. We have someone who is doing that in the background. So for tonight's drawing, you need paper. You need your beverage. Don't spill it on your drawing. It's my biggest fear doing these. You need a pencil you need a black pen, marker, crayon. You can even use a black pencil. I just really like to outline. And then you have colors. So I kind of pulled out some of the colors I'll be using. I know I want multiple browns for my rabbit, some blue, gold. I'm going to make the chair gold. So, and I'll probably grab others as I go, but I try to get some out before I start, so I'm not taking tons of time getting all the rabbits out. So let me turn my lights on so you can see my page. And then I'm going to flip you guys around and we're going to start drawing our rabbit. Did everyone feel like it was the weekend? I actually did. It felt a little different today. Not having to do I didn't do any schoolwork stuff, just kind of let my kid do whatever he wanted within the house. So here we go. I'm going to flip you around. Try not to throw my phone this time like I did last time. Looks like lots of people are inviting friends, which I love. Always invite your friends. Remember, you can add them to the group here. You can tag them on Instagram. I've even had people who are joining Facebook just to join the group and watch the video, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to draw my rabbit tonight. Cheers. I'm still in my PJs. I suppose it's the weekend, right? I've been in this romper thing all day, just very casual. I'm going to draw mine vertical. You could do yours, horizontal and do more background stuff. But again, I'm just kind of focusing on the rabbit itself. See, we are going to say that a bunch and we're all going to finish our Jackrabbit beers by the end of this. Welcome all the first timers too. Thanks for being here. One last quick, is anybody else's car getting 3 gallons of the week? That's pretty funny. One last thing, I love the adults sharing their drawings too. So please, when we're done with this, you can share this, your art directly into the album Jackrabbit. And then we can see your drawings. And if you'd like, I am collecting drawings. So there is a post on the page that says where you can mail it. Or if you're local, I will give you my address and you can drop it off on my porch. The drinking word is rabbit for those just tuning in. Every time I say the word rabbit, you're supposed to take a drink. So let's get started here. For my rabbit, this is going to be dangerous. This is more dangerous than curve. I'm going to start with somewhat of an oval shape. So right here in the middle, I'm going to do what is slightly oval, but it's going to get wider towards the back. I made this rabbit a lot bigger than I did earlier, so let's hopefully I get the scale right. So there is the start of the head. And again, I kind of break things down into shapes, and I just think that makes it easier. And then we'll go back, just like we do with the kids. If you've ever done one of the kids' drawings, I do a lot of lines and then I erase a lot of lines at the end. So make sure you have a good eraser. So I'm going to go ahead and do the ears. I'm going to have one that kind of goes towards the back, curves around, and then comes back down a little more narrow. And then I want to give that ear an edge. So just a little bit from the inside, I'm going to do an edge, but I'm going to stop it partially back on that back line. And then the other ear is going to live behind this ear, and it's going to be facing more forward. So it's going to curve forward into a little curved tip, and then come back down towards the head. And there's my front ear. And I still want to show some of, like, this is going to be the inside pink of the rabbit's ear. I'm going to show some of that here. So I'm just going to do one more little line right here on the inside, like we're just seeing a little portion of that inner part of the ear. So now let's tackle the rabbit's body. And I'm going to do the body in full, and then I'll add the legs and the arms off of it. So just slightly in from the back of the rabbit's head, I'm going to do a long, goes in slightly and back out, and then coming forward. So this is where my rabbit is sitting on his stool. And I'm going to have this line coming mostly straight. It's not going to have as drastic of an angle as it did over here. So I'm going to curve this up and have it come in just a little bit towards the neck. So there is my rabbit's body. And cheers. Oh, that got blurry, didn't it? Can you guys see? I'm seeing all kinds of blur. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. I guess I shouldn't cheers the phone. I made my camera all wonky. So now that we have the body, I'm going to work a little bit on the face, and then I'll go back in and add the legs and the arms and the beard. So I don't want this line to completely connect from the front to the back. So about halfway up the body, or halfway through the middle, beer will do that. Beer will make everything a little bit blurry, won't it? I'm just going to curve this line up. So that's going to give the rabbit that, that cheek. And then I'll erase this line behind. And the nose is a very simple V, but with, it can be, you know, you could do a real point. I just curve that a little bit. And I'm putting it closer because we're kind of looking at the side of our rabbit. So it's coming closer to the front of the face. And then the mouth, one part will come forward and touch, and then the other will come back. And you're welcome. We're excited to be partnering with Jackrabbit. We love doing this with these local breweries and businesses. Last week we did one with the prickly pear, and it's just nice because you kind of get a little cross promotion, and hopefully, you know, a lot of you went and picked up some Jackrabbit beer, or if you didn't know about it, now you do, and you can go, and they have a pretty great little drive-through in the back of their building now, and they just bring the beer right out to your car. So I'll give you just a minute to catch up and to look at your rabbit, bond with your rabbit. I'm really just coming up with reasons to say rabbit so you guys start drinking more. So I'm going to do a pretty dramatic eye for my rabbit. Okay, if it's blurry again, that's on your side. So my side is crystal clear. So if you're having any blurring issues now, you know, if I'm having any issues on my end, my camera freezes or I get blur, I'll announce to you. But if I'm not announcing it, then from my side of things, it's crystal clear. We're chugging along. Hi, Nicole. Cheers. Nice. First time you picked it up. What kind did you get, Amanda? You maybe said already and I missed it. Does Jackrabbit beer ship? I don't know. Our Jackrabbit people, do you guys ship or is it pick up only? So I'm going to do this eye. So I'm going to do a point here. I'm going to curve up and then do just kind of this dramatic curve back. Because I'm going to give my rabbit a bunch of lashes. And then for the bottom, I'm not going to drop it down. I'm not going to make it very big down. I'm just going to just slightly come back to meet up with that back line. First time Jackrabbiters. See, that's so exciting because that's what we're hoping is to, bring attention. Right now it's hard for the local businesses, so we got to support each other right now any way we can. Well, let's do the inside of the eye. So I'm going to put a little line here and then another little line back here for that inner portion of the eye. And then that center circle for the pupil. And then I always do a little circle of light. I'll leave this part white. And I'm going to give my rabbit a little eyebrow. I can smell all the rabbit drinkers. Ooh, what do rabbit drinkers smell like? I actually have a rabbit in the backyard who will be, I think, 3 this Easter. Oh, there's my mom. Hi, Mom. You're up late again. My mom lives in Florida, you guys, and she stays up and does these. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and start on the arms. So I'm going to, on the inside of the body, zoom in on the eye. Yes. The camera won't zoom, so I just get to go, wee. So there's my eye. Oh, your mom lives in Florida too. We actually have a lot of drawers from Florida. Probably thanks to my mom. Moms, they share it with all their friends. So there's our eye. Does that help? I'm going to bring it back out. Okay, my lighting is all crazy tonight, but I'm thinking you guys can see that well enough. Oh, Mom. Come on now. Mom does have toilet paper. She has more toilet paper than I do. She gets to go and do that senior shopping, so she can get the toilet paper. I'm basically down to 3 rolls. So I'm going to go ahead and do this arm. This arm, we talk about the hot dog shape. This is like a long hot dog. Come out, around, and back in. There's probably some fancy technical term for that shape, a long oval, but hey, if I say a long hot dog shape, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the back arm is actually going to live behind, and it's not going to come out quite as far because we need to make room for the beer. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line right here. And there's my beer glass. And then here is the back arm. So now he's holding that beer. Well, thank you guys. If I run out, I will definitely let you know. I actually thought we were down to our very last rolls, and I was kind of panicking a little bit. But then I realized I had 4 hiding in a cabinet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this beer cup. So I'm putting it in a pint glass. You could have him holding a bottle. You could have him holding a can, whatever you like. I'm just going to do kind of a pint glass shape. So I'm going to do a slight curve off of that back line I made, and then bring the line down and in towards the rabbit. That line ended up really wonky, so I'm just going to redo it. Again, I like to leave my mistake lines there. I erase them later just so I don't put it in that same spot over and over. And then for this line, I'm going to kind of feed off of the line here. So I kind of travel through the hand, but without putting my pencil down. And then once I get to the place, that edge line, then I drop my pencil. And then this will have a slight curve to the bottom, just very slight. And then now I have my beer glass. But like I said, yours could be holding anything, whatever you want your rabbit holding. And on this back side, I'm going to do one other slightly curved line just to give dimension for the inside of the cup, and a little wavy line for the beer. I will end up breaking this up into 2 parts. So when I do color this so it looks like beer, I'm going to color, I'm going to leave like a faint portion. I'll put a faint line there. I'm going to leave this portion white and then color the bottom so it looks like the foam on the top of a beer. And now let's work on the legs. I'm going to pause for a minute, let you guys catch up on your rabbits. We'll add that front leg first, and then do the back leg, and then do the stool. I actually do want my rabbit to have a little bang on the hair on the top of the head. So I'm going to do a line coming up through the ears, and then just kind of, I don't know, to a point, and then I'm coming back towards the face, and then just doing these little like bang lines. Can you see that? You're out of your beverage. With hand sanitizer and eggs. That's awesome. My kid actually told me, he asked me this week if I thought the Easter Bunny was still coming. And I said, of course he's still coming. And he said, I bet he just brings us toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Like, I wish, kid. So that kind of made me laugh. So your Easter Bunny with hand sanitizer and eggs is legitimately what my kid is like. That's his worst fear right now, is that's what the Easter Bunny's going to bring him this year. Hand sanitizer and rolls of toilet paper. Yours is bald. Bald is beautiful, Dawn. You let your bunny be bald. I'm actually also finding this shape of the ear really annoying. I don't know why, but I want it a little wider. So I'm going to just add some to that ear, and I'm going to go ahead and just have a line, an inner ear line that goes all the way through. I don't know, I just didn't like the shape of that ear. So there, I like that a little better. And I'll change it again, I'm sure. Once I go with pen, a lot of times I'll make adjustments. I'll fine tune things. But if you're afraid to do that with pen, then, get your lines how you want them in pencil first. So that way you go right over the top with pen. I'm going to do a puffy tail in the back. Get that on there. Trying to get my light better. It's really dark down here on my page. At least for me it is. So on this back leg, I'm going to start with an arch. So just coming in maybe about 1/3 if you divided the body up into 3 sections. Coming from about 1/3, I'm going to do a dramatic arch up and then bring it back down to the body line. So rabbits, they usually have like a really dramatic haunch. I've always felt that was like a hilarious word. I remember when I bought my dog, he's a lab, and I remember the lady told me, he has such nice haunches, and my husband and I were like almost peeing our pants laughing. We just thought it was such a funny thing to look at. It was like the last thing we were thinking about, the haunches of our dog. So once you have this in, you can go ahead and do that back, the foot. And you're just doing that hot dog shape. Coming out, I went way far, so I'm coming out almost to the edge of my paper, just for those long legs that they have. And then coming right back into the base of his butt. And then I'll erase those mistake lines, or not the mistake lines, but the first lines. I did gazebo. Gazebo is a good word. There just are some words that you say, you're like, how did anyone decide that this is what this was called? And much like we did for the arm here, we're going to do the same thing for the back leg. It's just going to start a little bit above the leg in front, and it's going to come out and then curve down into the leg that's in the front. And then once you add those little rabbit feet lines, just like that. So there's my rabbit. How's everyone doing with the rabbit? Is anyone changing theirs around? I'm sure Shane is. Overachiever. He's probably like painting it on a bedroom wall at this point. A rabbit with all of its rabbit friends. Yes, I thought about, like, you could do like a really big beer belly would be really funny off of this. I almost did that when I very first drew it. Mine looks like a freak. So I'm going to come in here while you guys are catching up and just add some little extra details. I'm going to give mine lashes because I just love doing dramatic lashes sometimes on these little cartoon drawings. If you saw in my original drawing, I even gave my rabbit eyeshadow. Yeah, sometimes it is the alcohol. Although sometimes I draw better with alcohol. My hands get less shaky. I have a tendency to get shaky hands when I'm drawing. So for the stool, again, you could have yours a drunk hip hopper. He thinks you're so pretty. Can I make my rabbit jealous? Um, you could have a lot of fun with your rabbit. I like the hip hopper. You could draw like a big gold chain on his neck, give the rabbit big hoop earrings. You can really deck it out. For the stool that the rabbit's sitting on, and this is a very simple stool, I'm just going to do a little tiny line down, a bigger line towards the back, but I'm going to put a little bit of the seat. So just this, can you see that? Just in that tiny area is the seat that he's sitting on. And then the stool will come down. And then bring that stool around. That line is not straight whatsoever, but I'll sharpen it up with my pen. A horse head on a rabbit body. And then I'm going to give the legs. So I'm going to do two on the one on each, edge. Just lines coming down to the end of my paper. And then for the third one, it always looks really funny if it's just right in the middle. So I usually put it just a little bit off to one side because that's kind of how those stools look. You wouldn't see that third leg like dead center. So this is, this is a leg. I'm going to color this in, color that in, color that in, and there's the stool. Oh, I'm like so zoomed in still. Sorry about that. I got carried away with the stool. Forgot to zoom back out. So this is really the finished product, aside from, coloring and outlining and pen. What you kind of do with it and turn it into, that's really up to you. I already know I'm going to take this line and I'm going to make it much bigger. You can play around with the shapes, change things you don't like. And again, sometimes I do that with the pen. Other times I do it in pencil. Amy, go out and come back. So leave the whole thing, exit the app, and then come back in and come back into the video. I don't know, Alicia. What do you call 100 rabbits walking backwards? There's such a delay. It could take you like a minute to even reply with the joke. Oh, there you did. A receding hairline. That's awesome. Cheesy jokes for the win. Okay, so I decided to do one other thing to my rabbit. I'm going to put my rabbit in a shirt. So I'm actually going to put this line back because this is going to be the top of the shirt, be a little ring neck t-shirt. So I'll have this little bit at the top, put those little decorative, or not decorative, but, usually the collar is a little bit ribbed. And then they'll have a sleeve right here. And then the bottom of the shirt, I might need to change that leg line now because I've added a shirt. So I'll just make this leg line like a little bit shorter. So there is a shirt. Yes, you could do a bow tie, all sorts of things. So we have a couple. Rhonda, are you here? There is a couple named Rhonda and Chris who were supposed to be drawing with us tonight. It's their 23rd wedding anniversary. And they got engaged in Paris at the Eiffel Tower. So I am going to put, oh, there she is. As if this, I'm just looking at it from the side. I'm going to put a little Eiffel Tower t-shirt on my rabbit for Rhonda and Chris. So an Eiffel Tower, you know, I'm making the little point. Again, it's very cartoony. And then I'm going to come out in a triangle shape. I'm going to go ahead and bring this line all the way in. And then I'm going to adjust it. So right here will be that arched base. And then here, let's do one of those little, I don't know, the little parts that sticks out. And I can do the bottom of one right here, just kind of along, just kind of making this up as I go. And then for the Eiffel Tower, I'm going to put like part of a heart on the top of mine, just because I can. It's my own version of an Eiffel Tower. And then I'm just going to do these curved lines inside of this shape for the grid work that's on the Eiffel Tower. This one will have little lines down. We're just barely seeing the edge of it. And then more grid lines across here. So there you go. There's his Eiffel Tower t-shirt. Happy anniversary, Rhonda and Chris. Congrats on 23 years. Rabbit, everyone cheers to Rhonda and Chris. And happy birthday, Brian. That's okay. I'll give a last minute shout out. I'm happy to do that. So now I'm going to come in with my pen and I'm going to just go over, but again, for whatever reason, I really don't like my ear. So I know I'm not going on top of the line at all. I'm just making my ear a little bit different shape than what I initially drew. And it sounds silly, but sometimes I just have to do it in pen because I have to just commit, or I'll keep doing it over and over and over and over again. So I'd rather change the shape now that I have the pen in my hand. You'll find that with your kids too. When you guys are drawing with your kids, or your kids are on here drawing, or maybe even for you, if you find you're just always erasing and always like not liking what you've done, just do it in pen. Just go for it. Because sometimes you have to learn to, that it's okay to make the mistake, and you have to learn how to make the mistake work for your drawing. So, oh, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. You guys really, I get a lot of compliments every day. Thank you for doing this. This means so much to all of us. And to be honest, this means a ton to me too. It's amazing that you guys all keep coming back to watch me. It baffles my mind. I have a blast with it. I have a blast with the kids. I have a blast with the adults. I enjoy all of it. It's really great. So you are very welcome. So again, I'm just kind of going over lines, making changes where I want. Next week, for those that do come with, who do this with your kids, or you know what? I have a lot of people who don't even have any kids and they still draw with me during the week. You don't have to have kids to do the drawings. We will do a lot of Easter next week. Rabbits, eggs. Oh, see, I just messed up my Eiffel Tower. So now, because see, I made that line. I really didn't want that line to go all the way across. So I'm going to make it work. And I'm just going to do a little curve. And now the Eiffel Tower is on a mound. And there's that. See, I start talking, especially after a couple beers. And it's easy to do the wrong line. Whiskers, go for it. You add all kinds of whiskers to the rabbit. I might do some at the very end with a much thinner pen. I outline a lot with this thicker black pen because it's a lot easier for you to see. Last week I tried to do that Sharpie pen and it just was so, it wasn't any different colored than my pencil. So I'll add really thin whiskers at the very end. There's one little faint one down here. The stripes up and down. Yep, I bet we see some bunnies with masks on. Beer belly bunnies. I'm also excited to see the groups of friends drawing together. I love, those of you who are drawing with people and you take the pictures all together, the date nights. It's great. It's a great way to connect with your buddies in some way. My bunny is still pantsless. Yes, my bunny is getting a t-shirt, but my bunny will not be wearing pants. It's like Winnie the Pooh. Which is funny. We have a lot of cartoons. What is Yogi Bear also doesn't have pants, right? Just a shirt. Or does Yogi Bear even have a shirt? Does he just have like a collar and a tie? I have no idea. Now my mind is just wandering to weird things. And there we go. I'm getting pretty close to the finish of my rabbit. Take a little break, take a sip, let everybody catch up a bit. Pour more beer into my cup. And for the adult sip and draws, we do take suggestions for these as well. But because we are doing some of these pair ups where we pair up with a business, usually if we're pairing up with a local business, we try to do something collaborative with them. So, but I do still take recommendations. I know we have another beer theme that's going to be coming up. We're pairing up with another local brewery, and it sounds like for that one, we actually might be entering our art to be printed on one of their cans. How cool would that be? And then we have a winery. We're also going to have a Bob Ross night. That should be a riot. So keep coming back. But yes, for the adult draws, you know, I say for the kids, if you have something you really want to draw, let me know. We add it to the list. The same applies with you guys. If you have things that you want to draw, you have a shout out you want during a video, just let me know. I'm also getting hired for a lot of private parties, birthday parties and such. And I will tell you, there are just as many for adults. Adult birthday parties. I have one tomorrow night. Adult corporate events, as I do, you know, kids parties and such. So if you're looking for something that you can do virtually, just hit me up and we'll figure out if we can work it out. It's usually done can be done on Facebook in like a private group with just your peeps, or it can be done on Zoom or some other app. We've done it a couple different ways. So if you really like this, but you know, you want to do it with just friends, whether it's just to hang out with friends privately or for some sort of event, just let me know. I am available for hire. So I'm just erasing my pencil marks. Also, these drawings are free. They're always going to be free. While all of this is going on, while we're all on this isolation lockdown. But I do accept tips, so I will post a link at the end of the video when we're done in the comments thread. You can tip me via Venmo or via PayPal or using a card on my website. There's a link to do all of that. So there we go. There is my rabbit. Now I'm just going to go in and add colors. So for the ears, in this little section here, I want to do pink. In this here, I'm going to do pink. You can color or not color. I find the coloring to be the most soothing part. You know, some people go and color later. Some people leave the video at this point, and I think they just kind of color by themselves in the peace and quiet. There's something very, very soothing about coloring. And there are so many really fun adult coloring books. So if you feel weird, like sitting with your kids' coloring books, just go on Amazon. There are so many funny and hilarious coloring books that you can buy on Amazon. Bye, Mom. I love you. I'll call you tomorrow. I'm going to do the bunny's eye green. I actually really started getting back into drawing when I did start getting back into it. I got back into it because I started coloring. And I bought alcohol markers, and then I just started playing around with them, and then I started drawing for my son. But it kind of started with just coloring. Because for a lot of people, the drawing is the most daunting part. You know, I think everybody tends to think, oh, drawing, it's hard, or I'm not good at it. But, you know, hopefully I break it down enough to show you it's pretty simple. I keep my drawings pretty simple. I feel like anyone can do them. And sure, it might not look exactly like, you know, your friend who's doing it with you, but I bet it's still, I always say, even if you're just laughing at what you created after, it was still absolutely worth it. You know, you might finish it and go, wow, I did better at that than I expected. Or you might finish and think, I am not an artist, but that was really fun. And this is like really funny to look at. And I think both of those are equally as good. And then there's people who just come on here to drink and watch and listen, which I think at first kind of like boggled my mind. I would see people who'd say, I'm just drinking and hanging out. But I mean, back to Bob Ross, like, how many of us actually painted with him? Like, for those who are my age and know who Bob Ross is, we just watched Bob Ross. Like, I never busted out an easel and acrylics and started painting happy little trees. He just was fun and entertaining to watch, and he was very soothing and funny. So, you know, whatever you get out of it is what you get out of it. So I'm just leaving this part white and kind of making this edge. You can't see that. So I'm kind of trying to make this edge a little bit fuzzy and like coming up as if the beer is kind of going up into the foam. It's not like a hard line. He is on Hulu. I think he might also be on something else. Like I've had a moment that I really got my kid into him and he started watching him. And do this inside part a little darker. And then the rest of the cup light. But yeah, he, you know, that afro, his funny little comments. And you know, sometimes when he was doing those drawings, he made mistakes too, and he just kind of went with it. He just made them work. So I will add whiskers. I'm going to add whiskers after I color in the bunny. So I'm going to do this hair, the bangs, darker. You could leave your bunny white. You could make your bunny white with those pink eyes. Those bunnies always scare me. And color in the tail, the same color I did the hair. Have you guys noticed? I can hear a car. I heard a car driving outside, but how lately it has been super sunny on the weekdays, and then on the weekends it rains, and I almost feel like this is like gonna be all hippy dippy, so just bear with me. Again, I've had beers, but I almost feel like it's Mother Nature's way of saying, like, you guys are cool, just stay inside. Because can you imagine if it was the reverse? Like if we were all working from home or homeschooling our kids Monday through Friday, and it was pouring rain every day. And then we got to the weekend and it was like sunny and beautiful. Oh my gosh, I think I would go absolutely nuts. So I feel like this like rain on the weekend is like a reprieve. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to stay inside right now. Look, it's the weekend. I know all the days blend together, so that might be a little bit silly, but I kind of I kind of love that it's been doing that. Right? You'd go bonkers. Like, there's something about when it's all beautiful and gorgeous on the weekend. So if it was just, I think if it was the reverse, we would go absolutely crazy. How does a bunny keep his hair neat? In a hairnet. That's my guess. But I'm bunch. Did I get it right? I'm waiting for your reply. Alicia, did you know all these bunny jokes, or did you sit earlier and just look up all the bunny jokes? Because I think this is your third one. I love it. Oh, a hairbrush. I was so close. So now that I've colored the stool, I did my stool just kind of a gold color. And I've colored the darker parts of the hair. I'm going to do the rest of the body, a little bit lighter brown. And really, I mean, you could do spots. You can do all kinds. There's all kinds of colored rabbits. My rabbit in the backyard is multicolored a bit. You're Googling as we go. Well, thank you. I'm going to have to start just giving you the theme early, and you can just set up the chat comedy routine. You can tell jokes in those moments that I have nothing to say. I know one time my mom watched a video and she said, you have to make sure you're always talking because it's awkward to watch when you're not saying anything. I'm like, Mom, sometimes I don't even know what to say, especially when I'm coloring. Because right now, it's like having a conversation with yourself. I mean, I see your comments, but I'm really just sitting here babbling away, talking to no one. If people couldn't see a chat room type situation in front of me, I would look like a lunatic. Just sitting and drawing a rabbit and just talking and telling stories. Rabbit. Telling my hippy dippy theories on why it rains on weekends. But hey, as long as you're still here watching, entertained, I'll keep blabbing on. Or like you said, I'll just keep saying rabbit. Rabbit. I'm going to keep the rabbit's t-shirt white. It's one less thing to color. And it just kind of, I don't know. I like the way the Eiffel Tower pops on the white, but I'm going to color that mountain green. Well, good. I'm glad it's soothing. It is for me too sometimes. Well, I mean, coming here and doing these drawings, actually, to be honest, guys, it's always soothing to me. I get really stressed right before I start. Just like I don't know if it's a camera shy thing or just it's really not that. It's more I get worried, like, what if I can't see the comments? What if the video's cutting in and out? It's all the things that can go wrong on a technical aspect. So I'm going to add a little bit of darker shading to these inside legs and arms, just because they're in the back, so they would be a little more shadowed. And a little bit here behind the jaw. And on the bottom part of the ear, just to add a little texture. Some little changes. Interest so it doesn't look so flat. You could also do those, I've done it with the kids, where you do all those little dash lines all over, and it kind of gives a look of hair. And I'm going to add some pink in where the nose is. And I'm also going to pink in the cheeks a little bit. Zoom in on that a little so you can see. It's real faint. It just gives the rabbit a little bit of a rosy cheek. And a little eyeshadow up along that eyelashes. So later, Juliana, you just go into adult sip and draw. There's a topic section. It's like right below the main group header if you're on a device, and it will be in there. So it'll get posted to the page essentially. But if a lot of other stuff starts getting commented on and people start posting their pictures, it can get really lost. So just look in that topics section, and you're looking at the adult, it either says adult sip and draw or it says sip and draw. And last but not least, I'm going to give my rabbit lips. Just really making mine this girl rabbit. So big dramatic lip at the top. I mean, if you're going to give your rabbit lips, you might as well make them dramatic kissy lips. And then the line at the bottom lip. And color that in. And there, I'm reading Alicia. She is 8 and drinks mint tea. That's really cute, Alicia. Hello to your daughter. Thanks for drawing with us, even on the adult sip and draw. And now is when I'm going to add the whiskers. So I'm getting a really thin pen. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this again. And I'm just going to do these little pen is real light. It's probably losing some ink, but that's okay. I just want these little whiskers. I don't want them to stand out too much. And then I usually like, if I'm doing whiskers, I do little dots, because any animal that you see, they kind of have those little pores, and it just looks like freckles. I mean, it's kind of cute. Anyway, so now it has the whiskers. And last but not least, I'm going to do 2 more little things here. I need a good pen. Here we go. Let's do this. So I like to write on my drawings. So I'm going to write fell. In love in Paris. I'll add a little heart to my eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and color those in. Oh, I forgot one. This one right here. So happy anniversary again, Rhonda and Chris. Thank you so much to Jackrabbit for being our sponsor tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put my initials. You can write your whole name if you like. I'm in California. I don't always ask for our adults to do their age. That's up to you. So thank you again. Like the Facebook page if you haven't already. Join me on Instagram if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Upload your drawings. Rabbit, thank you again, Jackrabbit, for providing beer to us and letting us share this drawing with you. We'll be back next week for 5 days of kids' drawings and a night of sip and draw. I will post the link at the bottom of this chat after I end this video on where you can send a tip if you would like to send a tip to me. And thank you so much. It's always really, really fun to do this with you guys. I love it. So thank you. Love you. Have a great one.